Hi, everyone. Dr. Nagori here, back with Fem Health, asking Dr. Brooke Jeffy, who is an expert dermatologist out of Arizona, about some derm questions that we had. So I want to talk today about the famously expensive creams. We're not going to name any names, but there are some really, really pricey dermatology creams out there. And I want to know, what is your opinion on what makes them expensive, and are they worth it? What's going into these creams that make them different from the stuff that we buy over the counter at CVS, or just regular prescription creams that our dermatologist may prescribe us?
Yeah, so largely these are all the same basic ingredients in these products. Whether you are buying a product from the drugstore, or maybe you're going like a little higher end with a department store type of brand, or you're buying something at your derm's office or plastic surgeon without a prescription. Yes, we call those generally medical grade, but in reality, it's a lot of the same basic types of ingredients. So, there's a handful of ingredients that make moisturizers, for example. And so the what you're paying for is the experience a little bit. So certainly some of the higher end brands, more expensive products, they may feel nicer. You might be paying more for an experience there with better or different fragrance, different scents. The packaging, that can be a huge variation amongst brands too. And really, it's just playing into your kind of self-care feelings there. Now, there are certainly different types of products we can look for. You could look for an example in the moisturizer category, just basic moisturizers. But then if you want to spend a little bit more, you might have a product, for example, that has growth factors in it or peptides. But still, you can get those versions much less expensively than going to the full high-end level. So you really don't have to spend that money unless you want more of the experience factor.
Yeah, I will say it's very interesting that you say that, because I think a lot of it's also personal, and I'd love your opinion on this, because I've had some great experiences with over-the-counter stuff. And then there was this one cream that I found through my dermatologist, and it was only sold in her office. And I have been trying, like, this cream just changed my life. Like, it just really just was so moisturizing. And I don't know,
You
I
loved
don't know
it.
the science behind what it was actually doing, but it felt really good. And I was like, oh my God, I need to only use this cream. I love it. So I think a lot of it is very personal, and what you kind of, how you experience things. So what would you say is some of the key ingredients that make something high end? You had mentioned peptides. Are there any other products or ingredients that people can look for in those products?
So yeah, I think there's a whole world out there of ingredients that are being put into products, right? So peptides, growth factors, now there's exosomes. But if you're looking to hydrate the skin, there's really only a core sort of amount of ingredients out there that you can use. Okay. Obviously, hyaluronic acid is a super popular one right now, but there's not an indefinite amount of these, out there. So you're looking for, what you experienced, for example, you had some combination in that cream that you liked that really worked well for your skin, and that you appreciated it working well. So it really is trial and error a lot in terms of what's going to work best for somebody and how they're going to commit to using it.
Aside from HA, what are some other moisturizing components that might be found in creams?
Glycerin is super popular and a very kind of just bland hydrating product. Panthenol is another very common one. There are things like aloe that can be added. Water is a huge ingredient for most moisturizers as well. Then there are things that we call humectants, which basically they attract water. So they're also could be considered moisturizers. That's actually how hyaluronic acid works, but niacinamide works like that. Then there are occlusive type of moisturizers too. So things like petroleum, for example, that really sits on the skin and helps prevent water loss.
So like Vaseline, basically.
Vaseline.
Yeah. Okay. I use a lot of Vaseline too. All right.
Dermatologists love their Vaseline.
I do too. I love my Vaseline.
Yeah.
This was super helpful. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.